Hello friends, this is Acharya Raman, Vedic astrologer since last 20 years. Friends, today's topic is very interesting one because there are too many uh, misconceptions or contradictions about exalted planets, whether they are outrightly beneficial or not, or they are favorable for some or favorable for other, or they are always good or they are bad, or they are sometime good, sometime bad. So we are going to take up this topic today and will reach the conclusion about are the exalted planets always beneficial. So we are going to take up this topic and we will be clearing all the doubts with examples and example kundli as well. But friends, before we move on to our topic, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel, share my video, like my video and comment on my video. Also friends, I always come live for live session on Saturdays and Sundays afternoon. So you are most welcome to come there and we can chat about astrology or we can chat about your own horoscope. So friends, let us take out this interesting topic and clear out the misconceptions that have been created around this topic, that are exalted planets always beneficial. So friends, let's move on to the topic. Now, the clear-cut answer of this question, that exalted planets are always beneficial, the answer would be no. Absolutely not. The exalted planets are not always beneficial. They can turn into villains or bad planets or unfavorable if they are owning the evil houses in your birth horoscope. Simply putting it in simple language, exalted planets in your birth horoscope are the most powerful planets which can give you full fruits, or we can say that full effects of the houses or lordship they are owning in your birth chart. So if they are functional malefic, like they own those stars like 3, 6, 8 and 12 houses, then they are going to give full effects of these evil houses. But if they are owning favorable houses like kendras or konas or quadrants or trines, then they will give the favorable results because they are owning the favorable houses, trines and the quadrants. So then they'll give you much good. So they are favorable only if they are owning the good lordships. I'll give you the example and then you will understand quite easily. Now friends, let us take up some example horoscope. The first one is a very simple example I will give you of a general horoscope, and then we'll take up the horoscope of a very famous personality. Not very famous, we cannot say famous personality, but ill-famous, right? Ill-famed personality, and then we'll finally come to the conclusion that the exalted planets are not always beneficial. But first let us take up the chart. Now this chart, as you see here, the first house always remain where ascendant is written. The number written here are rashis or sign. Like 7 number represents Libra, 8 number Scorpio, 9 number Sagittarius, 10 Capricorn. They are the signs or sun signs. Now if you see, let us consider this is a woman chart. If we see that sun is placed in the 7th house in Aries sign. So sun is exalted in the Aries sign and it is placed in the 7th house in a woman's chart. So what does that mean? That means that this woman might marry a very wealthy man or a man of a very high stature, right? But if you see in her chart, the dispositor of sun, which is Mars, because Mars rules the Aries Rashi. The dispositor of Sun is placed if in 12th house or if placed in the 8th house. Then what will happen? That woman might marry a wealthy man or a man of a very high stature, But if the dispositor of that sun, exalted sun, is placed in 8th house or 12th house, then her husband might be sick or die early. So what that means is that exalted planet or the results of exalted planets can be ruined by other influences, which are the dispositor which is to be seen, or the dispositor will show whether full results will come or not. Now, so to have full results of exalted planet, the planet should not be afflicted. Sun should not be afflicted, whether in D9 chart or whether in D60 chart. Also, neither the dispositor, like in this case Mars is the dispositor, they should also not be placed in the bad houses. So exalted planets should be well placed from Arudha Lagna as well to give you the best of the results. Now we'll take up one example Kundli of a very ill famous person, and we'll understand this concept finally. Now friends, let us take up an example Kundli. What I said was before was this is a Kundli of a famous, not famous, ill famous, right? Ill famous person. This is a Kundli of David Chapman, the person who killed John Lennon, who was one of the person of Beatles group, right? Beatles is a very famous group in the 80s, and David Chapman killed one of the person who was in Beatles group, that is John Lennon. So he was a murderer and he had to serve the jail life sentence, and in spite of 4 exalted planets, see in his chart, as you can see, Saturn is exalted in his chart, Sun is exalted in his chart, Venus is exalted in his chart, and Jupiter is exalted in his chart. But you can see that the 2 planets which are exalted in his chart are Lord of Dusthana lords, right? Venus is 8th lord in his chart, that is exalted, and Jupiter is the 6th lord in his chart, that is also exalted. And as we have said before that they should not be afflicted in D9 charts. Okay, now if we go to D9 chart, we'll find that the planets which are good, like Saturn, which is retrograde, good, but it is retrograde, and it is afflicted by Sun again in the D9 chart, you can see. And also Sun is also afflicted in D9 chart. The only planets which are not afflicted are Jupiter and Venus, but they are already Lord of Dusthana lords. So the 2 lords, Dusthana lords planet, 6th lord is exalted and 8th lord exalted, and the planet which are functional benefic, let's say Saturn, that is afflicted in the Navamsha chart. So this person, in spite of 4 exalted planets in his chart, had to serve the life sentence. So we cannot say or we cannot conclude that exalted planets are always beneficial. So we can say that, we can come to the conclusion that exalted planets are beneficial only if they own favorable houses and if they are not afflicted in Navamsha, and also their dispositors are if well placed. Hope friends you like my video, and if you did like it, then please do comment on it, like it, share it, and also please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much friends. Bye. Take care.